Good morning. This is our 100th and first episode now.
It's 1 point. No, it's 2.0. It's 100 2.0.
It's 100B. So I'm Guy Kawasaki. This is the 100th episode of the Remarkable People podcast. Man, where did the 2 years go? So today's guest is Seth Godin. Who could be a better guest for your 100th episode than Seth Godin? So, but wait, where'd Peg and Jeff go? Because
We're still here. We're still here.
there you go.
Yeah,
All for one for all.
that's right. So I was hoping if it crashed, it would just be you, not me. So
So there's Jeff from Keene, New Hampshire.
Peg is
God, I'm losing my mind. It's Peg from Keene, New Hampshire. And Jeff from, I don't know, someplace in East Texas, El Paso.
no, that's west. I am in
West?
I am in
You're in
Longview, Texas. Longview, Texas.
Longview, Texas. And as I said, today's special guest on the Remarkable People podcast was Seth Godin. And he and I go back a long time, like decades, actually. So it was very nice of him to come on the podcast. So do we have an icebreaker question?
We
Have you ever
do.
Yeah? Do you have a purple cow?
What's your favorite marketing book? And Guy, you
Ooh.
can't say yours. I guess yours aren't
Okay.
more. What? So
Mine
what's-
would be
summer marketing.
yeah.
Mine would be Influenced by Bob Cialdini.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Peg, what is your favorite one?
Ooh, well, honestly, Enchantment was my favorite one. Sorry to be a suck up, but
Oh,
that
my
was
gosh.
that was one of the first ones that I read, and I was like, I love this, and I was pretty new in online marketing at the time, so I really did like it. What can I say? It's a good book. It's a good
wonder if
business communications book, honestly, but
Yeah.
straight
have
up
a-
marketing.
So
I-
Enchantment, is a good one. That's Guy's. Everyone's leaving now. It's just me. I don't have a bookshelf behind me to go look. But I guess so. I like Seth's books. I do. So by the way, if you're just joining us, do not forget to go to the amazing website here. You can go here. Well, look at this. She's holding up Purple Cow.
we're
It was
all
all
getting
about
our
Seth.
books.
Yes, we're showing books, but don't forget to go here and leave a rating review. And if you haven't downloaded and listened to today's episode of Remarkable People, which is the Remarkable Seth Godin, you need to go check it out because I say this every time it seems, but it's one of my favorite episodes. I really liked it. I've been a fan of Seth's for a long time. So I guess my favorite marketing books would be, I like Mark Schaefer's book. I like his stuff with
Which one? He
Marketing
said a
Rebellion. Marketing Rebellion is good. But I'll tell you one I really like, and a lot of people don't think about it. I really like Creativity Inc. by the founder, Ed Catmull, of one of the founders of Pixar. I really like that book. I really did. So
There's
Jake
so many
says,
great
congratulations
marketing
over on LinkedIn. So we know it's working. He says, congrats, Guy. #remarkable. Thank you, Jake, for
Thank
saying
you.
that. Did you listen to today's podcast? Did you listen to the 100th episode of Seth Godin? Because I'd love to know what you think, because I really liked it.
Okay, you got to make me full screen.
Okay, here we go.
This is the
Oh,
one.
Oh my
that-
gosh.
Holy
That's-
shit!
That's
This-
the book
this
you
is
talked
how-
about in the podcast, right?
This is how thick it is.
Wow.
This is how big it is. Oh my god! Like there.
It's perfect when you need to boost your computer
Yes.
up.
That is
This is
monstrous.
rough. This is roughly the weight of the first Apple laptop too.
So, Guy, explain that book for people who haven't listened yet, but we know are going to, after this live show, run to go listen to the episode. But that is a very special book.
I think
Yeah,
he's got a
it's a
hernia now. He's like,
Seth Godin limited edition.
I think he hurt himself, actually.
So Seth and Guy talk about this on the podcast.
I can't.
Seth,
It's not that easy to okay, here's a page from the book.
yeah, it's a great coffee table book.
Didn't he only print like a small amount of these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he shipped them to just certain people, but wow, the shipping must have cost a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
He sent
I
it media mail.
they were on that boat that was stuck in the Suez Canal.
Oh, yikes. Another container ship
Yeah.
dumped over yesterday and went on fire.
Oh.
So
No.
Where?
Somewhere I think in Vancouver, over in the I don't know. It was on the east. It was on the West Coast.
Huh.
I know.
So on that pleasant note, make sure you go check out the podcast today at remarkablepeople.com.
Well,
So
if only there was a QR code that it would make it easy for them to go there.
We did the QR code once already.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, you
so
did?
hold your smartphone up. Yeah.
Sorry.
Well,
When I was getting the book.
yes, because we didn't want to see you hurt yourself or fall over, because that's a big book. So there you go. You guys can hold up your smart device there and get direct to where you can download today's podcast and also leave us a rating review. It helps us a lot. And we do have a great question from one of our viewers over on LinkedIn. Mary Jen says, Guy, why do you do your podcast? What is your motivation? And you kind of talked about this on today's episode, because you and Seth talked about podcasting. But why, Guy? Why do you do what you do?
Because sometimes there's no time to surf. So what else am I going to do?
no,
Surfing.
but you did start out as a blogger. So if you want to compare
Yeah.
yourself to Seth started
Yeah.
as a blogger also. He writes short posts that go out every day. He posts something. Some he'll turn into a book if he likes the idea a lot. But you started out blogging way back in the day too. And I remember talking to you about blogging a long time ago, and you said it used to just take you forever to write a blog post because you like to
Yeah.
tweak things and edit.
Oh,
and
I
it
can
was, I
believe
think,
it.
didn't Beth tell you to stop blogging? Maybe you were
So,
joking. But
Well, to answer the question, I kind of, at this point, after the 100th episode, believe me, it's not for the money. So I think I have kind of a moral obligation, because I have access to very remarkable people, and I have a great team behind me that helps me make very remarkable podcasts that help people become more remarkable too. So it's kind of like a moral thing for me at this point.
community service.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I mean, and you
Yeah.
have said multiple times it's your best work that you think you've
It is
done.
I
my
like
best
doing it a
work.
lot. Yeah. And speaking of communities, if you
Yeah.
guys remember a few weeks ago, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, here on the live show, we talked about building a community, and it is up and running. And we have 101 people in there now. So you could be the 102nd person or third, depending on it. I'll put links in the just in the comments after the show. But it would be great if you want to join us there for more conversation. It's going to have, we're not exactly sure how we're building it out, but there's already a lot going on, and there's a little introduction. So if you join, hit the little welcome and introduce yourself.
Yeah, and you can find that if you are right now watching or listening. A lot of times people watch videos and do other things. You can go to bit.ly/remarkable people circle and join that way. So bit.ly/remarkable people circle, and you can join right now. Right now, actually, don't leave here, but
Don't leave.
Yeah.
here.
And in a perfect world, speaking as the podcaster, that community could help me, because every week I'm interviewing somebody, and it's just good to get other perspectives on what I should ask that person. So I'm going to interview next Maxine. How do you pronounce her last name? Okay.
It's French, so that would be not the thing that I could ever pronounce. Bedat. French is not I am not great at French. But it's Bedat, Bedat, and there's an accent, Maxine Bedat. Hey, French people, I'm sorry if I'm ruining your language, but she is really amazing. And I've actually talked about her book before on the live show, The Life and Death of a Garment. It's really fascinating. She was a former attorney, and now she works in the fashion sustainability.
Yes.
I don't know. And she's an author, her book was shortlisted for best book of the year for some categories. And I think it's like a must read book for people, especially if you love shopping like I do.
Well, I have to say that if you read that book, you may want to become a nudist, because if you knew the impact of clothes on society, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Ugh, yeah. But wait, let's talk about Seth.
So really quick, I want to do. Steven says this over on YouTube. He goes, "Mahalo, Guy, for your podcast and your videos. Thank you, Steven, for watching all the way up to the 100th episode. So we appreciate you. And another question, Merjan asked, have you interviewed Simon Sinek? And you know what? This would be
We haven't yet.
if you haven't joined the circle, this would be a good place for, and if you have people that you would
Yes.
like to
Yes.
suggest, go into the circle at bit.ly/remarkable people circle and make suggestions because, Guy, we'd love to interview some newer people.
Well,
So
Yeah, Simon, Leaders Eat Last, and
Yeah.
he's got
I
one of
would
the
love
top
to have him.
TED Talks. Yeah, well,
Every time I ask him, he says, "Oh, I'm about to release another book. I'm busy now, Guy." So,
well, isn't that when he wants to market?
Yeah.
Maybe we should talk to him about marketing.
I don't know.
so
I'll see if I might have a connection for him.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if you join our circle and you give us suggestions, it would be most helpful if you also had a way to get to that person. So, don't come over there and say, "Oh yeah, you should get Michelle Obama." Well, thank you very much. We figured that out too. How do you get to Michelle Obama? And so, of course, there's the Michelle Obama example, but there's also the kind of example which I really love, which is a person that I've never heard of, none of us have heard of, but is remarkable. And so one example of this is we had a woman named Olympia Yarger who is doing sustainability in Australia, where restaurants take their food to this container thing and let maggots eat it, and it turns it into fertilizer and protein. And so, you probably haven't heard of her, but it's a remarkable story. So that's the kind anybody can know or want to get Michelle Obama or Richard Branson or Bill Gates. Well, I don't know about Bill Gates anymore, but anyway, but it's the undiscovered gems that make our day.
So on to some more questions about Seth, because Seth Godin was the guest today on the 100th episode, which was a jam-packed episode. It was fun. It was fun to edit. No, it really was fun to edit. I really enjoyed, and I really think that you and Seth probably should do a round 2 on the 200th episode, because you guys had a lot of chemistry that I thought that was really good. So the first question, and they talked about this on the episode as well. Do you think influencers really influence?
That is a very good question.
So, because you brought up Matthew, do you think Matthew McConaughey drives the Lincoln? Which I thought was pretty funny.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
How many of you think that Matthew McConaughey drives the Lincoln day to day?
I think he does. I think he does because
they probably gave him one. So sure.
Yeah, they probably gave him one and said you have to drive it. But also, he's really the face of that brand, and he has been for a little while. So I would like to think that Matthew has some integrity, and he feels like he should represent his brand everywhere.
Funny fact, you were asking
in
where
Texas.
Yeah, he went to Longview High School. He comes back here where I'm at. He went to Longview High. Yeah.
Really?
Jeff will check for us.
Yeah.
He teaches at Texas A&M right now.
Yeah, or UT.
So,
one of them.
One of them. Yeah.
He should run for governor.
I bet he'd be.
They were talking about that.
Yeah.
So wait, what was our question again?
Do influencers really influencers? Yes.
So here's the thing about that. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. And I'm just rewatching the show Emily in Paris, and I don't know if you guys have seen that, but Lily Collins stars as Emily, and she is a marketing person who gets a job, and she goes to Paris to live for a year to work there. And while she's there, she's taking pictures of Paris, and so her Instagram account gets huge, and then then it turns into a whole thing about her being an influencer and what that means. And some people do influence, and then some people just are trying to get views and impressions and things like that. But that doesn't mean that they're changing things. I mean, it takes a lot to really influence people's purchases.
Yep.
So I think you have to define influencers, because you have influencers like Guy Kawasaki, who is like, can move the needle. And then you have what they have macro and micro influencers, but they're even saying that those type of influencers, because they get, their stuff is more organic, they get seen more for these smaller communities, they move the needle, and a lot of brands are going that way. I know Neil Schaefer talks about that. But anyway.
Micro influencers are very big, under 10,000 followers.
So what do you think, Guy? Do you think you are an influencer? Do you think you influence? What are your thoughts?
I mean, if someone said, all right, guys, so if you tweeted or posted something about my book, my restaurant, my, hotel or whatever, would I be inundated? And I think the honest answer is no. Um, when I come out with a new book, I have social media following of, I don't know, 5-6 million bucks, 5 or 6 million people. I can't tell you that if I tell them to go read my book, 10% of them go buy it. There's no way. What do you think, Peg? It's not that easy.
But it
I
doesn't
think that
hurt
you,
either.
Well, it doesn't
right.
hurt. Yeah.
No, it doesn't hurt. I think that it used to be you could get more, it was easier like on Twitter and things like that. I
Yeah.
think influencing has moved a lot over to Instagram and TikTok. TikTok is where the fresh influencers are, but now all those people are all burnt out. Even Charlie D'Amelio, the number
Right.
one TikToker, she's young. She's probably what, 17 or 18 maybe now. And she's saying like, I'm burnt out. And of course she's on a reality TV show right now. Her whole family's all involved in everything. And she went to this, Paris Fashion Week, and it's so influencing is evolving. Influence is evolving. I would say there's been some things that Guy and I have worked on where it's made a huge difference. One time we went to the LA car show, and we were with Audi, and that I feel like that moved the needle. It moved the needle for me because I love Audi now. And then for me, a brand that I worked with is Kimpton Hotels, and that was a few years ago. And I still get people every time, people that follow me travel and stay at Kimpton, they message me and say, "You are so right. Kimpton's amazing." I just had one
Wow.
this weekend, and that was like 4 or 5 years ago. So people remember me with Kimpton. Like they remember that I talked about Kimpton, that I've stayed at Kimpton, shared photos, because I do love Kimpton Hotels. I don't work with them any longer, but
Mhm.
so I think that you can, and then the flip side of that is you have to be really careful as an influencer on who you work with, because your name is tied with that
Mhm.
company,
Well,
and so you want
yeah.
that to be a good connection. So there's so many levels and layers of influencing, and now there's whole agencies that all they do is connect influencers and brands, and yeah, so there's a lot of different levels and layers. There's people
Right.
who are doing affiliate marketing, which next week we'll be talking to Mr. Pat Flynn
Yes.
of
There's
Smart
a good one.
Yeah.
Passive Income, and he's amazing at affiliate sales. So we'll be talking more about that next week. But that is a
And
way of influencing, of using your influence
he
to
he's the
earn income.
person who told us to use circle.so to make our
Mhm,
community.
Yep.
So
mhm,
we listen to our guests. We don't just like blather
That's
on.
right.
mhm.
So, Guy, I think about, the influence question. I think about like, I would not have heard about Remarkable Tablet unless, and that's something you believed in and you liked. And we have
Yeah.
seen through the comments and even on these live shows, people who have gotten it because of the podcast. So
Yeah.
that is influence. And I think
Mhm.
I mean, maybe moving more that way, kind of like what you were saying, Peg, was that these, people who believe in something and use it and show why they love it, then that can move the
Right,
needle a lot for
right.
people. And Ken asked this great question. He says, "What motivates you to lean in and influence, Guy?" So,
Mm.
why did you just happen to go by the store and get Remarkable Tablet, or they send you one? How did that process work?
Shit, Peg, do you remember how did did we contact them or
I
they con
I
I don't remember.
I think it was a synergy in the name Remarkable People, and Remarkable
Yeah.
Tablet was kind of, and I think they were, I think they contacted you,
But you
Yeah.
liked it
and
and use it for all your
Oh
podcasts. I
yeah.
mean, that's the
Yeah.
thing.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
thank God it is remarkable. It's not,
It really is a
That would
great
have been
product.
bad.
yeah, it would really be a bummer if it was a piece of crap.
That's right. Unremarkable
Yeah.
Tablet. So this is something you guys talked about multiple times during the podcast, today's episode. And the question we're asking our audience: do you know what your smallest viable market is? And a lot of people know what the smallest viable product is, and that's talked about in startup circles. So can you explain what this is, Guy? The smallest
Yeah.
viable market?
So this is a concept explained in the podcast that Seth says that most people are talking about the MVP, the minimum viable product,
Mhm.
but they should talk about the minimum viable market because very few products reach the ubiquity of an iPhone or something like that. So, yeah, that's the dream. But being more realistic, like how many people does it take for your company to survive? And that's the question. So for a podcast, is it 10,000 listeners? Is it 100,000? Is it a million? Is it 10 million? And if you say it's 10 million, you better have a hell of a plan to come up with that, because you would be the most popular podcasts in the history of mankind. So it's kind of a, mental exercise to size what is necessary to succeed. And if that size is so large, then you're not going to achieve it, and you're going to look like a fool. So it's a very important concept.
Yeah, one of the things
and also
is,
just the small. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
I was just going to say one of the things he said in the podcast, because it was like, I think you even asked him, like, what is that audience? What is it? And he said, it's who's going to stand out in the rain to get your product. Because he was talking about Apple and getting the first iPhone. So, I'm sorry,
Right.
you were going to say something?
I was gonna say it's really like that he emphasized the smallest too. Do you need to say that you have 1 million downloads, or is having a small group of people who are really invested in your podcast and share it with people and listen to it and say, oh my God, you have to send this to someone else. That's always, like, as a blogger, I always feel like when somebody reads my blog and they just have to share it, you find that content creator, you just love their stuff so much that you start consuming all of it, and then you're sharing it with people because you love it so much. So that's kind of the goal. You don't need to have, you need to think about 1 million downloads to start with. You need to think about, like, building that small community. Yeah.
So Hope says this, when we were talking about influence, she goes, word of mouth will never not influence, but yes, brands must evolve their strategies because it is a changing. So,
yeah.
Hope, what are you having for lunch today?
That's right. See, that's why it's important to be part of the circle, because we know it's a community. See, we're doing that right now.
But do you guys remember? I think Hope was making tacos.
She was last time, and always made us hungry. So, she goes, she goes, engagement trumps downloads. Yep, I agree. But downloads also help. So, are you? So we talked about and Seth talked about waiting in the rain for the iPhone. So because he's an early adopter, and Guy and Seth talked a lot about where Apple is, their problems with Apple, and Seth said something like, "Well, they're not making it for us anymore." And Guy and Seth are early adopters. So are you an early adopter? Are you one who will go out there and get the newest iPhone or the newest iPad or whatever? That's interesting. What about you, Peg? Are you early?
I am. I have to say I was that way, but when every phone comes out now, I don't feel like I have to go get the new one, because my other one's working fine. I did do that when the really small laptop came out, the little MacBook and it only had the one USB-C port, and I was like, why did I do that? I had no. It was when they were it was the very first one where they took out all the USB things, and it was not. And then you have
because it was gold.
Pardon me? I do have a gold. I have a sparkling one. It's cute. All mine are gold. They all have gold sparkle cases and stuff. So, but yeah, I was excited because it was small and light. I thought it was great for travel. And then I had problems with every single speech that I went to go give, because they were like, "Oh, we don't know how to hook that up." But I was like, "No problem. Let me get my little bag out and step aside, sound guy." And I always got everything fixed. So,
you could make the case with Apple's latest MacBook Pro announcements that they appear to be listening to people like Seth and I, because now there's slots and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Our big thing was, as Peg just mentioned, 2 USB-C slots doesn't cut it. I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
I am not kidding you. Okay. My dongle has a dongle. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can it be? You think Steve Jobs said, someday we're going to have so few ports that we'll have dongles, and even those
for
$19.
$19 each.
I think he would freak out seeing how the design aesthetic is ruined with all those dongles hanging off your computer.
It does ruin it.
But to Apple's quasi defense, you might make the case that statistically 99% of the people only plug in power. They never plug in anything else. Every millennial doesn't print labels, doesn't scan. I mean, maybe they just, I don't know, look at TikTok all day. Yeah. But the other 1%, man, we are hurting. And I'm going to buy a MacBook Pro. So in fact,
John,
I have an iMac in the box. I'm going to take back to get a MacBook Pro.
wow.
I'm waiting for the big. I like their new iMacs, but I want the big one. I'm not going to go down to the lower, because now they're smaller. I have the big iMac 27-inch that I use for everything.
Right.
I'm not going to go
It's big.
smaller. So
Yeah.
John M2 just got the new laptop with all the ports. He posted it on his Instagram. And that just shows you right there, Instagram, like how people influence. Like he was so excited because he's obviously a Mac geek. He got his box out and he pulled it out and he's like showing all the ports. And I was like,
And
so good.
That was a great episode too. If you're like, who's Peg talking about? He was like probably what, 2 months ago, month ago. He was on the show. It was a great one. If you're a musical fan, it was great.
Crazy Rich Asians.
So Billy says kind of like
my biography.
So it's kind of like 1,000 True Followers by Kevin Kelly, and they do talk about that in the podcast. So if you haven't listened to make sure you go to Remarkable People and check that out. Hope, by the way, just for all of you who are hungry, goes, I didn't eat yet. She goes, I have tacos in the fridge ready to cook. So our resident chef here at Remarkable People. Yes.
She should. Maybe we should change the show to Thursdays. Then we can have Taco Thursday. Because
Taco Tuesday. Yeah.
Sound.
Yeah.
Taco Tuesday. That would work too.
Yeah.
Taco Tuesday is a thing. Seth did write a book called Tribes. That's one of his, ones that, he's written so many, but Tribes is one that people really talk about a lot because building your online tribe and community is important because nobody can just be.
How many books has he read? How many books? I mean, has he
read? Probably a lot.
I mean, how many books has he published? It was
30, right, Peg?
Yeah, it's a lot.
A number like that.
Yeah. So another question we have: what brand or product has a great story? Because that was important. What Seth talked a lot about in this podcast is the storytelling aspects, and like you said, Peg, he's written tons of books kind of on some of this stuff. So what would be and we mentioned this last week. When Peg and I were running the show, we were trying to come up with ideas. We were trying to think of good brands, and I thought of Chewy. They have a great story. How they, Chewy. It's a Chewy.com. It's a dog food and it's a pet company. Star Wars character? No, Chewy. I know I look like him, but not that Chewy. The brand Chewy. They have a great story. But what's another good?
It's a pet product website.
And Canva. You talked a lot about Canva during this.
They have a great story.
Yeah, they do. What's another?
Meter. I love Meter.
Meter.
Nobody knows what Meter is.
No.
Meter. MEATER. Okay. Anybody who cooks chicken, turkey, or beef, you need to get a Meter. MEATER. And what it is it is a Bluetooth thermometer probe. So you shove this thermometer probe into your turkey. And it monitors the temperature inside the turkey, and then it says, "Hey, 140 degrees. Take it out." You get perfect cook every time. Every time, your side of beef, your tomahawk steak, your turkey, your chicken will be perfect with this.
Very cool. Now I've got to go get one. I just have a regular thermometer, and I have a Bluetooth thermometer, but now I need a meter.
Dude.
You talk about pods. That's your new favorite one. You talk about pods almost every day.
Yeah.
Oh, I love pods. So pods, company should pay us for this, but this is truly how much we love the stuff because we don't get paid to tell you this. So pods is basically a shipping container on the back of a truck that they deliver to your house. You fill it up with stuff. You call them up. They pick it up again. They take it to your new house, or they hold it in storage until your new house is ready. And in my case, we just moved or in the process of moving. So I had pods come to our house in Atherton. I loaded it up. They picked it up. And then they took it to our new house. But our new house, we had not yet closed escrow. So we left it outside on the driveway, which was okay with them, until, we really closed escrow and they had moved out. And now this week, my pod full of stuff from my first house is about 100 yards from where I want to unload it. So I call up pods and they come and they bring a truck and they put it on the truck and then they move it 100 yards and then they leave it again. And then we emptied it. And so Friday, they're coming to take the pod for the last time. But pods is just so well done. It's just remarkable. I want to. Sometimes you should just move to use pods. Sometimes.
that's, that's a great endorsement right there, because
That's
I don't
funny.
like moving.
One of my favorite brands, I don't think I've talked about it in a while, but is one that I talk about all the time, is Dry Bar. And I love to use there. I don't have a local Dry Bar, but when I travel, like if I'm traveling and I have a speech, or if I'm just going to an event or something, you can make an appointment. You go in, you get a blowout. They don't do haircuts or color or anything else. You just go get a blowout and you look amazing. And if you're a woman, it's like really a pain to travel because you can only use little small travel size things and bringing a whole bunch of hair products, and it's hard to do.
I
So
know.
this makes it totally stress free. You can go get a blowout, your hair looks amazing, and
Do they do
it smells
beards?
good because their
Do they do
products are great.
beards?
No, they don't. And just
That
everything
is
about Dry
beard
Bar is
profiling
cool.
right there.
They have
Yeah.
great music. They play chick flicks. You can, in Vegas, they have a DJ come in like at a certain time that it's like cocktails, and
Did
it's
they
really
all
fun.
reopen? Is it completely open again?
I don't know if they are not because I haven't traveled and so I haven't seen any.
Oh
But
yeah.
they also have now product lines, so they probably were fine.
Mm.
Those are like oh, what do you call? I'm totally blanking on a word that I should know. Those are franchises. They're franchises. They
Mm.
own
Oh,
some, and then there's franchises around the country.
but
So
Jeff,
they're just a
I,
great brand, and they make like hair tools, like curling irons and flat irons and blow dryers, and all their products are great. I love them.
I
So it's
have the
like the
pro-
What's that, guy?
I have the product for Jeff.
Uh
Jeff has got to use Madison Reed and dye his beard.
oh.
I
Like
don't
Guy
think he
Fieri
will.
or whatever. Like
No
the.
color,
Madison
like get the
Reed,
gray out.
hair
Yeah.
color, hair color for your beard.
I just have to glue this on every
Mm.
morning. That's what's hard. Um. So
Christmas coming soon.
Christmas is coming soon.
You can,
That's what I'm gonna get
you,
for Guy for
you
for
can
Christmas.
no. I mean, you can be Santa at the Longview J.C. Penney.
That's right. Me and Matthew McConaughey can be my elf.
He can be the elf,
That's right. That's right.
and then you can
So
go deliver gifts in your Lincoln Mercury.
that'd be good. The sleigh would be the Lincoln Mercury. Yeah. So that's what we should do. He'll probably be here. I think his family, his mom and dad still live here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So
Look for the Lincoln, you'll see him.
that's right. He's
the
come,
only
like
Lincoln in Texas.
he does he does premieres here. He's done that, and one of my best friends was in theater with him in high school. So kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I wish I was in theater with him in high school.
I'm sure you do. Um,
You have
So-
us now, Peg.
that's right.
Okay,
Yeah,
totally
you
different.
traded up. You traded up.
Yes, yes. I mean, I don't think you guys have been cited for playing the bongos naked, but
Well, as far as you know, I got that expunged from my record. So next question is, and this is a great one. We probably should ask this one in the circle. Are you on
Yeah.
social media, and do you use it professionally? Like most people, I would say, to some degree, are on
Yeah.
social media, but do you use it professionally? So, what do you
Okay,
think?
but-
Should we add this on our circle? Should we put
Why
it
not?
on
But,
Remarkable
you know,
People
that-
Circle?
I can put that in circle.
That
I have
question
stuff
needs
going
to
in
be
there.
reworded.
Okay, how would you reword it?
Well, because do you use it professionally can either mean do you use it in the sense of in your career, in your business for a professional purpose, or do you use social media like a dumbass amateur, not professionally? So which way are you asking?
I think Jeff means, are you on social media, and also do you use it for your career?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you need to clarify, Jeff.
Not are you a
No.
low level social media
Peg just,
hack?
I thought this was a team thing, and Peg just threw me under the bus saying it was my question. So
That was your question. But I also had your back. I explained what you meant. So
That's right.
I think I had your back.
So,
So anyway, do you use social media? So I use social media for my profession, yes. But it's interesting to see people, how people are using it. An interesting way, if you're an author or if you're in any creative kind of person, you can make more money now if you have social media, and you can do product, if you can do launches, and if you are Rihanna and have social media,
Mhm.
or Selena Gomez, who is like one of the top most followed people on Instagram, has her own beauty product line. So of course she sells that on her own thing. So
So
There's a lot of people that are using social very well.
you mentioned
The Kardashians.
yeah, you mentioned authors and how important it is for social
Yes.
media. We interviewed Hugh Howey on Howley on the podcast.
Howley?
Howley, it's a great Howie, right? What am I saying?
Yes.
Anyway,
Howie.
I'm saying go back and listen to this, no matter how you pronounce it. It's a great episode. He has a great. I think Peg introduced me to him a long time ago when she had him on her book club. And I read Wool, which I really, really enjoyed. But he talks about how important social media is, and he knows how to do it. I mean, self-published, all that kind of stuff. So go check out that episode at remarkablepeople.com.
Wool is going to be an Apple movie.
Yeah.
Yep, they're filming it right
series.
now. Yep. Hugh does a great job of like teasing stuff that he's working on, and also kind of like he engages his audiences with like things that he's interested in. Like he just watched Dune and he was talking about science fiction, and he writes science fiction. So people that follow him are like very interested in what he has to say, but also he knows when not to waste it. Like, he doesn't get sucked into like the time suck. He gets his writing done and then he'll go check on stuff. But he has before, he used to have Facebook. I think he still has Instagram, but he kind of he tweets mostly, and I think he posts on Instagram sometimes.
Seth obviously is a big advocate of communities, and yet he does not participate in his own communities. And I asked him why, and he said that he believes a community should be able to stand on its own without the personality propping it up. So by that argument, I should not be very active in our circle community. The community should maintain itself, not because Guy's there.
True. But also, no, but I'm saying that, I mean, hypothetically speaking, yes, but it's also nice to surprise and delight the people who are in the community and answer things and ask questions.
I would also say most people are not Seth Godin or Guy Kawasaki. So, I was, but because social media can help, build that community, and it'd be hard for me to just go, hey, I'm not going to participate. Here's a Jeff C. circle, but
I think the key here is that, it's clear what the community can do for us. Come up with suggestions for questions, for guests, help us make the podcast better. The question is, what can we do for the community to pay them back? That's the harder question. So
give them Hope's Tacos. That's what we need to do. So
free Madsen Reed, die.
We would give them Hope's taco recipe. We would invite Hope and she would share it.
That's true.
So Hope, you have to join the circle. So make sure you do that.
I think where people like to join communities when you're not being sold things and pitched things, because nobody likes that, but it's a place to connect, which is harder and harder on the internet. There's just so much going on that it's nice to have a quieter community, and then there's no algorithm, so you don't have to be, and if you don't want to use Facebook, you don't have to go to Facebook just for this Facebook group. It's a totally separate thing on desktop, or there's an app. So
this whole episode was about social media and marketing and Seth's journey and Guy's journey. And so other than, we've already mentioned some of our favorites, Guy's books and also Seth's books, where do you go to grow your marketing expertise? So Peg, you're up to date on all the socials. So where do you go?
But darn, they changed like every 5. They changed right now while we're on this live. I like to watch classes myself. I like to go on Skillshare and check things out, or YouTube to watch like how to do things, learn new. There's always so much. And then if I really want to get to the heart of things, I do like to look at follow the news for Instagram or Pinterest just to see what's going on. Pinterest recently had a
PayPal
creator festival. Well, PayPal dumped. They're not doing a buyout now. Pinterest Creators Festival, where they talked about things and how they're switching. They want to be a TikTok-y, Instagram-y kind of place versus just static pins. So I do try to stay up on it, and I do catch stuff on Twitter from people that I follow.
Ask me how I stay up on.
That's what I was going to say. Well, see, listen, before you're going to be snarky. I know you are about it, but you also know a lot of remarkable people, and you read a lot. And I'm just going to say, I bet you get a lot of your stuff the new things are from your circle of remarkable people. So that's what I was going to say. So go ahead.
Okay. Are you finished?
I was going to see what you started.
So I stay on top of things by listening to Peg.
Oh, I
I'm
think
a
all of
little
us
lost.
do.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, but Guy, you're one that like you like to try every new tool. You're more about like how can I do this thing this way? Those kind of things interest you the most versus the mechanics of social platforms.
Hmm. Yeah, and make us try
So
it too. So
Okay, everybody. You know what? I am gonna buy. I think I already bought you one, Peg. Jeff. I'm gonna send you a meter thermometer.
oh, see, that's
Jeff,
awesome.
Peg, didn't I send you one already?
No, no, but I can
No,
get one.
I
No.
sent it to Rich. I swear I
Oh,
sent you
Rich
guys.
told he's opening your mail now.
I'm gonna
So
send both of you a meter thermometer,
see,
and
that's
you
why
are
it's
gonna
good to hang
thank
out with
me.
Guy
I'm
Kawasaki.
sure it's
You're
probably
gonna
great.
Oh yeah,
you're
I
gonna
love it.
thank me. You're Peg. You are gonna want to drive from Keene, New Hampshire, with that turkey for me this Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You're like, can you test it at my house
So
on
I'll
like
smoke a turkey. I
the
should bring it
third
to
the
the
third
smoked
Thursday
turkey.
of the month?
All right, last question.
You can come to our house, Peg, and you can cook the turkey in a French oven.
I would
Le
try I will
connu.
try to do that. When I come, I'll just need one whole day and I will make a turkey for you and Beth.
So listen, our
And
new
my
range,
gravy, by the way, is as good as the turkey.
our new house has this French Le Cornu range, and the most innovative thing on it is that there is a pipe above it. So when you need water in your pans, there's a pipe
Oh,
right above the
It's a
range.
pot
Yeah.
it's a pot filler. That's not a pipe.
Whatever. I don't know. It's a pipe. Yeah.
it's a pipe
It's a
for
pot filler.
it's
We have a pot filler
French
too.
is a pot filler. Okay,
Jeff,
last question.
let's say like you're frying something and it's really hot and you're thirsty, just turn that thing on, put your mouth underneath.
And singe your hair off when you're close to the range.
It
All
is
right,
nice.
last question. I want to get this one because this is a Peg question and it's really good, and I wanted to
Okay.
ask it. So Seth said Clubhouse is a vapid waste of time. Do you agree or disagree?
Ooh.
I
That's what we-
agreed
if
with
you-
that one.
Are you
straight
guys on
off.
Clubhouse now? I think
Nope,
it is
not
for
anymore.
me.
Yeah.
But
Is it
a lot
still
of people,
growing?
yeah. Well, I don't know if it's still growing, but a lot of people are using it. I know a lot of people still making connections. I know a speaker friend of mine who keeps landing deals from there. So, it's
Really? What kind of deals?
like other speaking gigs and some television stuff, and so.
Huh.
But he's on
I
there
haven't-
way too much. I couldn't do it as much as he does. That's just my
I
opinion.
haven't. I was on there really. I was trying for a while, and I haven't been on there for 5 or 6 months. And I hope it's that old. And I just got sick of everybody there. I swear, when I was there, it's like everybody's a multimillionaire who did it in 60 days, and I just want to confirm you got to be positive and all this positive psychology bullshit. And at the end of everybody's little thing, they always say, yeah, but you know what? If you really want to learn how to be a millionaire in 30 days, click on the link in my Instagram. And because I have a new, How to Be a Millionaire in 30 Days by Joe Blow from Blow Consulting, and click on that link. And it's regularly $500, but today on Clubhouse, it's $250, and you get my free bookmark. That's every freaking conversation when I was at Clubhouse.
Yeah, there's a lot of pitching, and also just a lot of like you just answering a lot of questions. You know what I mean? Like it was all like an AMA kind of deal, which gets exhausting. Like that to me
It's
isn't
free
connecting
consulting,
as
too.
much as it is people picking your brain.
Yeah. I think it's great for some networking if you can do it, but I don't have time. I mean, I popped in there a couple times, but I don't have time for it. I do think the new Facebook audio rooms, which are a Clubhouse ripoff, work better. I think they are. The interface is nice, and I think there'll be a place for that. All the big networks are doing something like that. So we'll see after we can actually go out in the world and touch and talk to people if it's still going to matter.
One advantage of it is you don't have to worry what you look like.
Yeah,
True story.
that's a big plus for me. I have a face for Photoshop, so
I don't know.
that's
I'm so tired of using makeup whenever I come on this. I've worn a hole in the
Me
middle of my
too.
foundation case.
Yeah. So do not forget to go. This really was a great episode. If you're interested in business and marketing or growing or finding your audience or your avatar, all those things, you need to go check out this podcast at remarkablepeople.com. You can just hold up your smart device right to the screen here, and
I would be astounded if you're somebody listening to this and you cannot learn something from Seth Godin. That would be hard to imagine that's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, one thing that we haven't, we had one little announcement today too. Actually, it's a big announcement.
What's that?
Today we joined the
HubSpot
Podcast Net.
That's
Yeah,
right.
we're part of the HubSpot Podcast Network. Woo woo.
Yes.
Moving up.
Yeah. So and there's some great people in that network as well. So
like Jenna Kutcher.
John Lee Dumas.
Gold Digger. Gold Digger blog. John Janst of Duct Tape Marketing. His marketing blog is in there. My First Million, if you want to learn how to make $1 million.
And not get a free
click
bookmark.
on the link in my Instagram profile.
So
that just made me think, what is Guy's link in there? I better check to make sure it's something good. I think that's Remarkable People.
It's probably to buy a book.
Probably to my Google Plus account.
No, it's not.
What the Plus book? You know.
What the Plus? It's remarkablepeople.com. I was correct.
And don't forget about the circle that we've been talking about, this community that we would love for you to join. You can find out more at bit.ly/remarkablepeoplecircle. Go in there, ask some questions, talk to us and let us know what you're interested in. Go ahead, Guy.
What's the count right now, Peg? Did anybody join based on this? I don't even know.
Well, Hope did. She said she just joined. So
I can't find the number. I don't know. I don't see where the number is.
You have to go to members. Okay. Click on the little people at the top.
Okay, start at 101. Whoa, we got 13% increase just now.
Yep.
See, that's what the importance of this.
Hey, everybody. Hey, there's hope.
Yes, hope. And so we're going to ask for that taco recipe, Hope. Don't think we're joking about that.
We're going to make a special topic.
Yeah. So Pope said she literally got in now, and yes, she says that the that bit.ly/remarkable people circle, it is case sensitive. So it's capital remarkable.
Yeah,
no way.
So
Bitly link is case. No freaking way.
Yep. It always has been.
Wait. So you're telling me if I went to Bitly and lowercase the R and the P and the C, it would take me to a different place, or I mean, what?
It probably doesn't work. There probably isn't one for the other one, but somebody could do the same one in lowercase.
Other people are saying the exact same thing.
No, they cannot be that stupid.
They are case sensitive. They always have been.
And so as we have a lot of people chiming in. Thank you for all the congratulations you guys are giving us on the 100th episode. Thank you for the awesome podcast episode. Yes, it's Seth Godin this week. Make sure you guys go to remarkablepeople.com and check that out. Any final words?
That's not case sensitive.
No, it's not.
Well, thank you everybody for sticking with us for 100 episodes. We'll get it right yet. So no, we are just having a blast. I don't know about. Well, maybe Jeff isn't editing my edits, but I'm having a blast.
I love it. I love being able to listen to in great conversations each week. It's a good gig if you can get it. So
you should pay me to edit.
We won't go that far. But, almost. I have spent a lot on books of the guests because they're really good. I mean, if you guys aren't buying books after listening, man, I don't know.
But I bet you Seth Godin never gave his engineers a meter.
Probably not. He probably didn't.
You are going to... Okay, I'm going to send it today. Over the weekend, I want you each to cook a roast or a chicken or a turkey, and we're going to have a meter. Now. We're going to have a meter
war
podcast.
Oh.
I should interview the CEO of Meter.
I think it's like a Martha Stewart. I'm not going to go up against her because she will kick my butt.
You do grilling and barbecuing.
Yeah, but you can do all that.
I think we should have a episode of this podcast with the CEO of Meter and the CEO of Pods. My two favorite companies.
I think we tried to get Dry Bar, right? She said she was busy.
Who?
I think we tried to get the CEO from Dry Bar. Allie.
Oh yeah, and then we tried to get Spanx.
We got blown off.
Dad joke.
Oh,
So
that was
I
so
want
good.
some more chefs on. I want you to get Alton Brown. That's who I want. Is Alton Brown.
I would love to have Alton Brown too. I'll try him on Twitter.
Yeah, he's pretty.
It's
pretty
amazing.
big.
You have very high success rate on Twitter.
I do.
She has
Yeah.
high success rate. We need to get Ryan Reynolds for Guy.
Instagram DMs. I just talked to him on TikTok, but I don't know if he'll get it.
Who's Ryan Reynolds?
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Did he invent aluminum foil?
No?
He could have. He's that smart. He's an amazing marketer, by the way.
See,
He
look,
owns
another
Aviation
meter
Gin.
fan.
He owns Aviation Gin. What's the other mobile company he's a part
Actually,
of?
he sold Aviation Gin for like $600 million, but he still does advertising and stuff for him.
Yeah, he's
And
super smart.
he owns a marketing company that he.
You know who we
sold
should
to
get?
another-
We should get Matthew McConaughey. That we can drill
All
him on.
right,
What does he try?
all right.
We want to go in your
See,
garage, bro. Let's
I don't think
take us in your garage.
He's on podcasts and stuff.
Social.
He's on podcasts and stuff, though.
I think he has a podcast. I'll see if I can connect with
Oh,
officially.
somebody said Mint
officially
would be a good company.
McConaughey.
Mint?
Yeah.
Mint is Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
That's his mobile phone. He owns
That's right.
multiple businesses.
Yes.
Okay, we'll try Matthew McConaughey. He's got 5.8 million followers, so I don't know if he. Oh my God, he's got long hair right now. Must be working on a roll. I'll work on him.
So to
Okay,
speak.
I'll put a question in the community for like suggestions for guests. I did post a couple questions in there already today, but I will do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
And
then we have this thread about whether you like when Jeff puts music on top of people talking or not.
it's not.
That really isn't open to interpretation.
That is
I feel
not.
like that's our artistic style, and it's been that way
I'm
since the
Just
beginning. I
asking
love
the
it.
question.
And I'm pretty sure NPR does it on some of theirs as well.
They do.
I know they do it on like Radio Lab.
But-
It's not.
Mhm.
Yeah. But you know what we do that NPR doesn't do is we have outstanding quality transcripts.
That's true. You do. And you can find them at remarkablepeople.com, by the way.
Yes, and actually they're in Simplecast as well.
So if you like to read along with your podcast, or if you're deaf or no deaf people, we have great transcripts. We invest a lot of money and time in our transcripts.
And it's good for SEO. So
That's not why I do it.
I know, but it's also that too. I'm giving all the reasons.
Wow,
So-
why? Transparency is overrated, Jim.
Okay. Well, that's our show for today. We are at the hour. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you do go give us a rating and review because that really does help us out. Hope we would. You've probably already done this already, but I think we would love to get one from you, Landon. It'd be great to have one from you as well. Everybody who watched today, Stephen, all you guys, John, everybody who has watched the show with us today. If you haven't done it yet, you need to go do it. And if you haven't listened to Seth Godin as the guest on Remarkable People, you need to go do that as well at remarkablepeople.com. With that, Guy.
Aloha. Aloha. I am going to go jump in my Lincoln Mercury and drive to my other house. Right now.
All right. Have a great
That's a
rest of the
first
week,
world
everybody.
problem.
See you guys later.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.